Good morning, folks. Rob here, and we have got, as you know, um, trash dump of the week coming up, and not only do we have that, we do have um, some talk about the Cardinals, Reds, not clash, but a fight. Castellanos, yeah, he's got a little bit of a mouth to him, but he's got confidence too. And you really, if you got swag, like, and that's a word a lot of people don't like the word swag, but if you carry some swag with you, Happy Easter, Tribe fan. Oh, Tom Seaver game, good deal. If you carry some swag, number one, you are a team leader. So things are going to follow behind you anytime you're doing that. Okay. Castellanos on Thursday hits a home run, jogs a couple of times. Looks like he's heading to a damn, I don't know, Candyland game or something. Throws his bat and flips it a couple times. And the Cardinals took offense to it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the Cardinals taking offense to it, and I don't have a problem with Castellanos doing it. He's not breaking any rules, okay? He's not breaking any rules. But if they want to come after you and want to pop you the next time you're at bat, I don't have a problem with that either, okay? You play the game by the rules that you see fit, and these are side rules. These are side rules, and these are rules that you know deep down in your heart have been played for 50 years, 70 years. You go skipping down first base, the next time you might not be able to skip down first base because they're going to pop you, and that's exactly what happened. Now, in his defense, he picked his gear up, picked the ball up, and said, "You want the ball?" Being a smart ass, and then threw the ball in the dugout. Then he comes around and scores, and on a pass ball, or a wild pitch rather, and the pitcher's on top of him. He gets out and does like this and kind of flexes up. He's got to realize it's not only him now. Okay? When you open that can of worms up, it's not only you. It's all the 24 on the team as well. They've got to have their head on a swivel now. They don't know when they're going to get hit. They don't know when somebody walks around the bases and accidentally has their spikes up on the side of their leg and goes, and you're going to be out of the game for the next 10 days, 12, 15 games for big, for cuts on your leg stuff. I'm just being real. See, I don't have a problem with the hot dog. Okay? But when it starts affecting the other teammates, that's when you need to dial it back. You need to cut it back just a little bit and be like, okay, all right, if that's a game-winning run, I don't have a problem with him doing this, climbing the fence, whatever he wants to do. I don't have a problem with it. But that's just one run in a game during a game. Okay? Act like you've been there before. Okay? We had a man that passed away just a couple months ago named Henry Aaron. He would hit a home run, go around there. Not only after he touched the plate, he would a lot of times he'd thank the umpire. He'd pick his own bat up and walk back to the dugout. Act like you've done it before. Don't act like this is a surprise, because if it is, why should you be an all-star? If this is something that you're not used to doing, like scoring a run. Scoring a run should happen almost every game. If you're the star of a team, you should score one a game pretty much. or one every other game at least, but probably closer to one every 3/4 of a game. So, Castellanos, I'm not defending you, and I'm not defending the Cardinals. All I'm saying is this. If you two teams want to have struggles all year, battles all year, number one, you're going to lose players. You're going to lose players to not only injury, but also to being kicked out of stuff, being removed. And are you that good to where you can afford to lose people to suspensions? Are you that good? Brewers are laughing. The Brewers are sitting in the background laughing about this. I'm serious. The Brewers are loving this. The Cubs are loving it. Even the Pirates are loving it. These two teams are making clowns of themselves. And look, Castellanos is being the head clown, no doubt about it. The Cardinals are kind of going to the beat of his drum right now, no doubt about that. But it's all according to how each team's going to react, man. And if they keep one-upping each other, it's not going to finish well. It's not going to finish well. The Cardinals are a team I picked early in this before the season started. I still think they're the class of the Central. But stuff like this can derail a team. If I were the Cardinals manager, I would be like this. Castellanos is a clown. Let him do his thing. If he goes out there and shows you up, let him do it. I don't want anybody out here doing anything, letting this kid on base. I don't want you. Strike him out. Strike him out. A week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, if we got a 4 or 5 game lead, we come back to town or they come back to town, we'll pay them back then with interest. Yeah. See, you can do that if you've got a 4 or 5 game lead. But right here, this early in the season, you can ill afford to fall behind teams 2 and 3 games, especially when you got to pass 3 and 4 other teams. You can't afford to have that happen. Cardinals, I think, really, really need to get on their cases about, look, we got there's clowns everywhere, okay? All you got to do is go to the circus. Today, we just happened to play against one. Castellanos, he's got to back it up a little bit. He's got to pull it back and be like, okay, look, I realize I'm coming from a team that pretty much stomped on me the whole time I played there. And the Tigers really didn't give him room to move. I understand that. And he has freedom now in Cincinnati. Freedom does not give you the right. Well, freedom gives you the right to do what you want to. But freedom should not be to the point to where you can go out here and try to show up people. Because you may end up in an emergency room with about half your teeth knocked out. It could happen. Because when you get these fights going on and you got 30 against 30, and then you got coaches involved, and you empty everything out of 65, 70 people, people can fall, land any kind of way, and the next thing you know, all hell can break loose. And that's just not what these two teams should be looking for. Cardinals, I'm not going to say clearly are the class of the Central. I'm not going to go that far. But the Reds have got to realize they're not the pick to win the Central. And they need Castellanos for 160 games this year. And they're not going to keep him there if he gets hurt or gets suspended. It's just not going to happen. So definitely not a trash dump of the week nominee. But look, just play the game smarter. Play the game smarter. All right, now let's go to trash dump of the week. Boy, oh boy. There are a few. There are a few it could be. No doubt about it. I'm going to just put them on here and let everybody decide for themselves. 5 is the most we'll have. And we'll go with it. What was it? Washington Nationals for COVID canceling the first. Yeah, come on, Nats. Washington Nats. What are you going to do this year? We're going to play baseball. Okay. You're down in Florida. You don't have a problem staying in your facility in Florida. Number one, they allow you to hit, pitch, whatever you want to do, and you got a golf facility right beside of you, so you can go out there and play golf when you want to. You go back to Washington, it's a little tighter security. You don't have a golf course a mile away. You've got, hotels and stuff right there close by, and their facility, I think, is actually housing some of their players. And they're just being clowns about it. They already have lost. They've missed 3 games already. Okay, caused the Mets to also miss 3. You got to feel bad for the Mets here. They've got to make up 3 games with this team before the year's out, and you only play them 19 times. So now you only play them 16 more times, and there's going to be double headers galore in Washington the upcoming weeks. I'm gonna throw Rob Manfred out there. Okay, Rob. Look, I didn't like when I first heard what the governor in Georgia did. I was astounded, and then I went and read that whole bill, and I went back and was like, okay, how is this racist? How is this that? I read the entire thing. It's like 14 pages. And I'm like, how in the hell is this racist? Everybody's got to have an ID to vote. I don't have a problem with that. You can call ahead, or when you get there, have a place in line. You can actually sit in your vehicle, or you can get in line and wait, whichever you want to. 12-hour day. 12 hours, 7 to 7 to vote. I don't have a problem with that. That looks like that's fair enough. And the precincts, pretty much where everybody got the upset part, and I was a little upset about it, was like, there will be no drinking and eating in lines. Look, they said the average line was 17 people. Okay? They would take 2 people every 3 minutes. So you're not even talking 30 minutes. You wouldn't even be in line 30 minutes. We go in Walmart. I know most people go in Walmart and spend 30 minutes shopping. Come on. So Rob Manfred for not, and then the problem was this. It wasn't so much he didn't read the rules. He bent over for the government. The government wanted the All-Star game out of Georgia, and they're taking it out of Georgia, and for them to fold the way they have. The NBA's the same way. NBA, if something goes not the right way, okay. NFL, let's talk about the NFL, right? Right now, the NFL is a shallow hall. The NFL offices, you won't find anybody there because nobody has one thing to say about a person named Deshaun Watson. They don't know what to say. Are you supposed to? You see, they don't know whether they're supposed to be defending the women because equality for all. That's what it says on the side of the football fields. Equality for all. Or are they supposed to be defending Deshaun Watson? Now, this thing about removing antitrust. Yeah, it's a lot of things going on. This one right here has got me. And if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch. What's the guy's name? I like to watch him Clay Travis. Okay, he mentioned it 2 days after I mentioned it on my channel. That this is Deshaun Watson's defense. That his attorney came out and gave him a piece of paper that says, here's 18 different masseuses he went to. They don't have a problem with what he did. I mean, they didn't ever have a problem with Deshaun. Here's phone numbers and names. All right. Since when does coming up with a list like that disprove anything else? All right, number one, let's say these 18, were lists. Perhaps if you take a look at the people that work there, okay, they're not as, how do we say, as sweet or becoming to the eye as some of these ones that have said Deshaun Watson has done some stuff. Come on. Just because people have said, well, he came to my place and never did a thing, that does not mean he didn't do it somewhere else. I mean, that's the dumbest damn defense ever. Just because he didn't come here and do nothing, that doesn't mean at all that he didn't go to some other places and do stuff. That's crazy. So that kind of defense is stupid, number one. Number two, it's not like he went to a different masseuse in town. He went to different cities. This guy scoped out the places. He scoped out the women. He was scoping out the women that worked there. And trust me, he was not looking for women. He had a distinct group. Whatever age group he wanted, whatever size he wanted, whatever. He had that scoped out. And you're going to see when they show these women that worked as a masseuse, you'll see it's not very many of them. It's like, oh God, it's not very many of them like that. Trust me. So he knew what he was all about there. So this week, I'm putting Roger Goodell on there just for the sheer fact that any other football player by now would have already got suspended, or at least suspended without pay until further notice. Okay? They haven't done anything to this kid. They're letting him walk. But now Houston, I hear, has starting up their own, not civil, but criminal lawsuit against him. This kid may not see the light of day in another 5 years. Could be his career right there. And see, the NFL needs to start jumping now. If they start sensing that, this is a dumpster fire right here. He is going to get in some serious trouble. You can better believe Goodell's going to step up. It's with high regret that the NFL has to suspend Deshaun Watson for the next 30 days. You wait and see. As soon as you hear the footsteps coming, Goodell will do something. That's what'll happen. He'll hear the footsteps coming behind him. The Houston Police Department right now is doing a criminal research on Deshaun Watson's case, and it's looking like we're going to have a conclusion to it within the next week. Within the next week, okay, that's 7 days. Let's just say it was to happen. Goodell in 4 days comes out and says, it's with high regret that we give Deshaun Watson a suspension with no pay until further notice. That until further notice could be 1 day, could be 5 days, could be 100 days. You wait and see. When he clearly sees that he's going to get in trouble, the NFL is going to come out and march out there and be all against him. And he'll have a couple of the women with him too. I'm talking about Goodell. He'll, yeah, you know, after talking to some of the women in the Keith and Olaf, you know, and I hate making fun of his lisp, but that's what'll happen. As soon as he sees that Deshaun Watson's getting stomped down, he will bring some of the people out there and be like, "Yeah, we've been pro woman all along." Yeah, so okay, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but it's it's kind of crazy the way things are going. So far, we got the Washington Nationals, 3 games in, 3 games they haven't played due to COVID. Rob Manfred, his situation with the All-Star game, it's only going to get worse now because, you know, Texas, the Rangers are going to have their opening day coming up, 100% capacity. They're not going 70%. Manfred said, please go 70%. They said, hell no, we're going 100%. Okay? Look, all I can say is this, and I'm not defending one side or the other. I will say this much. If people go out and use the smarts, you use the brain that the Lord gave you, and you put your mask on when you notice there's other people around you. And if you're out here playing golf and you're 500 yards away from the nearest person, I'm not wearing a mask. That's just my opinion. Okay? That's just me. You got people that are out here driving their car wearing a mask. That's up to them. That's their opinion. And they have that option. But to think for a second that there's going to be 100% people in a baseball stadium all wearing masks, you're nuts. Okay? It's not going to happen. Number 2, what's up, Keith? So to think that's going to happen, you're crazy. So, you know, Texas has got to realize everybody's not going to be wearing their mask all the time. And I mean, happy Easter to you guys too. Put a yes or a no in the comments right now. It's only a couple folks here, but put a yes or no. When you're in your vehicle outside, you're inside your own vehicle driving somewhere, do you wear a mask? Yes or no? Nobody with you, just you. Do you wear a mask if you're in your own vehicle going somewhere? Doesn't matter if you're going a mile, 5 miles, 100 miles. Mask is off in the car, Tribe Fan, says Keith. I think Keith's the one said something about it the other day and laughed about it, said something about it. Somebody mentioned it to me and said something about it. What the hell's up with everybody driving in their car wearing masks? Tribe Fan says mask is off in the car. How about you, Keith? When you're driving, do you wear your mask or you don't wear your mask? Keith must have took off and got a slice of toast. I don't. Okay. Now, if you were going to go out and play golf, you're out on a golf course. Okay. You're on a golf course. Mask, no mask. Now, I am no mask. Now, if I have somebody playing alongside me, I would while we're sitting and riding. But as far as me shooting a golf ball, I'm not wearing it then. Because, I mean, you may have 50 or 80 people on the property, but it's two square miles. That's me. It would affect me too if I wore a mask while I was shooting. I'm sure it would. If you was in a group, yes. If not, then no. Okay. All right. Well, I'm like this. Even in a group, I don't want. If I have people come to my house and sit on my porch, I don't wear a mask. I just don't. Now, if somebody tells me they're uncomfortable, then I will wear it. In a week to 10 days, you should be completely vaccinated, which is why I stopped playing in pinball league. Didn't like playing with a mask on. Yeah. Oh, pinball league. Oh, that's cool. I've never even heard of a pinball league. Bless you. And yeah, I am. We have our carport out here. Our porch. I got a grill on it. I got my bike on it now. Whatever. If people come to visit me, if they don't come to me and say, "Well, I've been feeling sick," or if we've been not been feeling sick, I will still give them room. I still give them their 10 feet. More than 6. I give them 10 feet. And they can sit on my porch and we just sit there and talk. Now, if somebody comes to my house and said, look, I've been kind of feeling under the weather. Number one, I'm probably going to go outside with you. I'm probably not going to bring you in my house. Number two, I probably will wear a mask. But, yeah, playing golf, if I'm not right up on top of somebody, I'm not going to sit there wearing a mask. I'm sure. I'm sorry. Even if I'm in a group, I was in a group with a guy the other day. We got close to, 15 feet away from each other at the tee box. But other than that, we were not playing. He was hitting his more left than I was, and I was hitting mine more straighter and righter, more right. The sheriff in St. Paul, Minnesota was saying the CDC believes the chances of contracting the virus outdoors is very small. Is it? Okay. If it wasn't, I would probably been got it. I'm not going to lie about it. In a parking lot at Walmart, I'm not wearing it. I'll walk toward the store. The closer I get to the store, that's when you start seeing my mask go up. And I'll put it on inside the store, no doubt. Inside any type of store, I go to my parents' house, I don't wear one. They don't wear one. They've both had both of their shots. Let's see. No, they've only had one shot, just like Gar. Yeah, they still got one more shot to go. Okay, they've still got one more shot to go. But when we go to visit my mom and dad, we don't wear one, and we're pretty darn close to them. Sometimes we even hug them and stuff. But she's pretty much, my mom's of the thinking that she doesn't have anyone there that visits. It's not that many people visit her. It's more or less her sons. It's 3 of us. And actually, one of them came here the other day. Not the one we were speaking of last night, but he's the middle one. He likes to go fishing with me, and he came by Friday for probably an hour. And if you have had your shots a couple weeks later, the odds of transmitting to someone else very small. Oh, okay, very cool. And you see, and I am not pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. I have not said one way about it, one way or the other. I'm elected not to get it because I've had the flu once when I first met Dar. Early 06, I guess. 15 years ago. About 15 years ago till now. It was about this time. I had the flu. And I've never had the flu shot. Ever had a flu shot. And I had my dad, when he got the flu shot his first time, he was down for about 6 days. Really, really, really bad sick. And I just elected not to get it. So I've never gotten it. Okay. I just elected not to get it. That's just my call. Now, I visit a doctor pretty much every year, somewhere between March and May, and September and November, twice a year, just due to the fact I have problems or something kind of like bronchitis or something. But other than that, no. I don't most time get too sick. Sometimes they have to give me that Z-Pack crap. I wonder if stadiums should sell tickets in different lines for vaccinated and not vaccinated. They could allow a certain number of non-vaccinated in and let all vaccinated in. Well, I'll tell you where it's going. I'll tell you where it's really going to happen at the airports. Okay, if the airports come up with, guess what? You're going to be in our little module. You're going to be in our aircraft 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 hours. You have got to get vaccinated. Rob and get vaccinated then. Okay. If some of the rules get to the point where that's what's got to happen, I'll go get vaccinated. I'll do it. But that's the only reason I don't, is just due to the fact, if no outlying factors are pointing to where I have to get it, I won't do it probably. It isn't like a black line and a white line, but some people would probably see it that way. Yeah, I understand that too. But think about it another way too. Think about it another way. Just the flu. You know how a lot of times come November and December, you start hearing the people in your community getting the flu. Just the regular flu. Do they force everybody to get the flu shot? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. And up north, I'm sure it's more likely to happen than it is down south, just due to the fact, right now it's 60 degrees out here, 65 degrees outside. And it's not as likely to have chills and all that type of stuff in a nicer conditions, in a more they let you in with the flu. Well, what I'm saying is this though. What I'm saying is they're not asking anybody who's had a regular flu shot. I've never been asked that in my life. Never been asked that. So, because it's never been where you had to have it. It was never been a mention of you got to have it or you don't have to have it. And, I know a lot of folks that don't get it. I'm telling you. Now, I know some people that do, just due to the fact of where the people they go, they'll get it. That's just the way it works. So, do we have anybody else? And I ain't trying to drop it. Commissioners in full attendance sometime this summer, I think. Yeah, I think it's probably going to work from the south up too. You're probably going to have somewhere in Florida, Tampa, or down in Miami, and maybe Arizona start filling their places up, and then all of a sudden it's going to work its way up the warmer it gets. I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. Do we have anybody else wanting to give us a nominee for Trash Dump of the Week? The Washington Nationals, for not keeping an eye on their players and their players not keeping an eye on each other. COVID, they've missed 3 games. They got 3 games they got to make up. Bobby Catalano, hello. And we did see your video of you going to the Rays Detroit game. Very, very cool. Happy Easter to you. And Ms. Rob, happy Easter, she said. Happy Easter, Bobby. Rob Manfred for, kind of jumping. When somebody said jump, he jumped. That's just the way it worked. I have not seen your Easter tree yet, but I did see your visit to the ball stadium. I will go see your Easter tree. The guy who ran the barrier at the Capitol. Yeah, we don't know what the hell that guy's got going on. I mean, number one, was he drunk? Was he even American? Was it a foreign terroristic act? We just don't know. I don't know anyway. I've not heard. People are just doing crazy shit now. That's what it amounts to. Roger Goodell simply for sweeping the Deshaun Watson think he has dead going on now. Oh, he was dead. And Roger Goodell for simply sweeping everything under the rug. We're eating lunch, dinner. That's right, dinner. We've always called it dinner time and supper time at 6 o'clock, 5:30. Yeah, that's very cool. So nothing wrong with that, Bobby. I will take a look at your tree. All right, voting time is in. Voting time is in. The 3 up for trash dump of the week. The Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals, they have COVID floating around, and they're not taking care of it. And the Mets are ending up losing. The Mets are ending up losing games that they're going to have to make up just because the Nets are screwing up. Rob Manfred, for moving the All-Star game without even discussing it with the panel of people within baseball. Didn't even talk to the Players Association. He moved it. Roger Goodell for Deshaun Watson. Simply, right now, he doesn't even know Deshaun Watson's name because you haven't heard one word of Deshaun Watson this, Deshaun Watson that, Deshaun Watson this. Nothing's been said. So, time to vote. Tribe Van says the Nationals. Undoubtedly, the Nationals. Do we have anybody else that would care to vote? You know what? I'm voting for the Nationals as well. It's an epidemic, guys. If you find out that you've got it, right? Stay the hell at home. Stay the hell away from other people. Just stay away from folks. It's not that hard to do. It's not that difficult. And when you're in a player setting around other people, number one, you know outside your bubble's not where to go. You're not supposed to be going to strip clubs. You're not supposed to be going to restaurants on the other side of town. You're not supposed to be going, what's up, Ken Castro? You're not supposed to be going to visit your mom and dad on the south side of town just because you're there. You're supposed to stay within that bubble because that's what they've restricted you to, because it's relatively safe to. Why can't they force the Nationals to play minor leaguers? Well, Keith, I think personally, this is what I think should happen. I think no team should have a right to cancel the games. Cancel no games. If you going in there and you've got 7 guys on DL or injured list because they have COVID, you keep them away from the team until further notice, and you play with what you got. And if they're hurting your team, get rid of their asses. If they do something to hurt your team, I don't have a problem with them getting rid of them, and especially if they've got a proof of them trying not listening to the bubble and all. So yeah, if you ever wanted to lose your contract, that should be the way to be able to avoid a contract, is if they're not going by the rules that the league sets out. But I agree. I think the Nats should be forced to play minor leaguers right now. Tough shit. But right now, what they've done, they've put the Mets in a hole. I'm not a Mets fan. But why is it fair to put the Mets in a hole, right? I think Manfred should have spent more time on solving that issue. Yeah. He's not even mentioned it. He's not even mentioned the Nationals. He's not even talked about the Nationals. He should have came up Thursday and said, guess what? We're giving them this one. We're giving them this one. Saturday, they better all right, you got all right. So Keith says Rob Manfred for just the way he handled the Nationals issue. Okay. And that's a different way to go, but that's very cool. Because, you got you one Thursday. Saturday, you better have your team ready. The Mets will be ready to play you. And that's just it. Because if they keep allowing teams to, well, we've got 4 with it, we got 6 with it, we don't have enough to play. Canceled. They'll be making up games till December. He better grow a set and start telling teams you go field a team, whether it's all major leaguers, all minor leaguers, or whatever the hell you got. If it's a mix, you're going to field a team. Manfred, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. The more I think about it, too, Rob Manfred, he really has, he has dug himself a hell of a hole right here because. What do you think, Ken? Who would you say right now is trash dump of the week? We got the Nationals for just not announcing anything, just coming up at the end of Thursday saying we got 4 players with COVID, and then comes up Saturday morning, like 8 a.m. or something, and they said, okay, we're going to cancel all the games over the weekend. The Nats did because we just don't have enough to play. Manfred allows it. He's a commissioner. And he didn't stop him right there in mid-sentence and said, damn right, you're going to play. You may go get triple A, you may get double A, you may get rookie league players, but you're going to play. It's about time some of these damn commissioners stepped up and said, oh, hell yeah. We're tired of holding your damn hand. We're sick of it. And then Roger Goodell for the ongoing saga of Deshaun Watson sweeping everything under the damn rug. So what do you think? What do you think, Ken? We got the Washington Nationals, we got Rob Manfred, and we got Roger Goodell. Or you can have a write-in candidate. We still have 2 more spots for trash dump of the week. Yeah, Vancouver's the same way. That's right, Vancouver. Goodell is your vote. Yeah. Vancouver. That's right. Vancouver's done the same thing. It is really screwed up. And the thing is, they got them staying in bubbles, and they're definitely not staying in bubbles now. Somebody's out doing something. Somebody's out gallivanting somewhere. You're not. If you're staying at the rink, when you leave the rink, you go to a bus. When you leave your bus, you go into a hotel. Okay? And everybody does that. And then all of a sudden, not after game 10, not after game 15, not after game 40, 5 Canucks have come up, at least 7 now. Somebody went out, did something they were not supposed to do. And do notice, it's not a team like Toronto. It's not a team like Edmonton. It's not a team like Vegas. It's not a first-place team who is staying on top of this. It's a team that's not playing very well right now. They've got a lot of issues. And then on top of that, this just stacks up on their issues. And doesn't that suck? If you're a Vancouver fan, and I know some Vancouver fans, look, if you're a bad team, that's one thing. It's a wonder it hadn't happened to Buffalo. Buffalo's the worst team of all. But they haven't had that happen to them yet. So we'll see what happens. So, by a vote of 2-1, Roger Goodell gets 1 vote. Washington Nationals gets 1 vote. Rob Manfred, for being the trash dump that he is, he ends up getting trash dump of the week.
Turn today's dreams. Oh, garbage dump. Oh, garbage dump. Why are you called a garbage dump? Oh, garbage dump. Oh, garbage dump. Why are you called a garbage dump? You could feed the world with my garbage dump. You could feed the world with my garbage dump. You could feed the world with my garbage dump. That sums it up in one big lump.
My favorite part.
When you're living on the road and you think sometimes you're starving, get on off that trip, my friend. Just get them cans and start carving. Oh, garbage dump, my garbage dump. Why are you called my garbage dump? Garbage dump, my garbage dump.